Bitcoin and Ethereum move together most of the time, but the small differences that we get every now and then, they are the real opportunities. Let me show you what I mean. We've got Bitcoin in orange, we've got Ethereum in blue. And we've got a similar pattern for Solana, as in when Bitcoin goes down, Solana goes down even more. When Bitcoin recovers, Solana tends to go up more. That phenomenon spreads across all of crypto. So here we've got the altcoin performance over the last year. Most altcoins tend to go down at the same time when Bitcoin goes down as well. We can even expand this concept further. Let's say when the general stock market is going down, all the individual constituents, all the individual stocks themselves, they also tend to go down. So a lot of assets tend to go in sync within an asset class. That's true for crypto, that's true for the stock market, that's true for properties as well, right? When the market is going down, most individual houses go down as well. It's true for precious metals as well. And so where's the opportunity here? The opportunity is to trade the convergence to the mean. So when we've got an outlier within a market, very often we see that outlier coming back again down to the general trend. Hi, my name is Gerhard. I've been in crypto for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago. And in this video, I want to share the data that I personally look at in order to outperform the market long term. I have been outperforming buying and holding Bitcoin over the last 5 years. That's when I started tracking. This is my monthly alpha versus buying and holding BTC. On average, I outperformed by 2%. That's then how that looks like over time measured in Bitcoin. Now, you might have heard of a concept called Bitcoin dominance. So that's how much of all of cryptocurrency's market cap is currently in Bitcoin. This here is an adjusted version of this. This is Bitcoin dominance excluding the stablecoins. So the way to get this is to enter into TradingView BTC, that's BTC's market cap, /total ES. ES meaning excluding stablecoins. This gives us a pretty clean picture. Bitcoin outperformed the overall crypto market since the end of 2021. And we all know why. Michael Saylor continues to purchase Bitcoin very aggressively, and he buys it faster than Tom Lee is buying Ethereum. He's buying faster than the small altcoins are getting bought. And that's an opportunity, right? We can bet on Bitcoin to go up and on other cryptocurrencies to go down at the same time, irrespective of what Bitcoin itself in US dollar is doing. What we see here at the bottom, that's Bitcoin's price. And we can see that even when Bitcoin is going down by close to 50%, Bitcoin's dominance is not touched by this at all. It continues to go up. So trading relative valuations can give us a market edge that's independent of the general ups and downs of the market. If you're just buying cryptocurrencies directly, you can get wrecked. If you bet on relative valuations, you can just take advantage of trends that are not moved by the general macro environment. Check this out. This is Ethereum's dominance, excluding the stablecoins again. So we're going to look at stablecoins separately in a minute. We had our run up in 2020 and 2021 in anticipation of the conversion from proof of work to proof of stake. Then the merge actually happened. It was a sell the news event. Since then, Ethereum underperformed the rest of the altcoin market. And here is when Tom Lee of BitMine started to buy Ethereum. But those Ethereum purchases have slowed down relative to how quickly Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin. And that's why Ethereum recently is on a decline, and it will likely continue to decline. Here is Solana's supply adjusted dominance. We will get a decision very quickly whether or not we get a bit of a breakout or Solana underperforms the rest of the market. The overall very long-term trend is bullish, the medium trend is bearish, and now the trading range is getting tighter. We are forming a flag. Now this is the trend that I personally like to trade the most, and that is the altcoin dominance. So that's others market cap. The others market cap is all the altcoins that are not in the top 10 relative to the rest. And that's going down since 2022. And it's interesting that the altcoins have such a hard time outperforming, even when Bitcoin during the same time period actually went up. This is counterintuitive because most people would think that when we are long-term appreciating, that more risk, more inherent leverage, and smaller market caps in the altcoins should actually help the altcoins to outperform. We take on more risk, we take on more volatility. Why don't we get more performance when prices go up? That's exactly what this chart here is showing. Altcoins on average don't reward risk taking. Now we have excluded the stablecoins from all of those charts here. Let's look at the stablecoins specifically. This is the stablecoin dominance. So we look at all of crypto and then we check that entire market cap and compare this to the stablecoin market cap. The stablecoin dominance peaked at 16% in 2022. Currently it's at 11% and it's an inverse correlator. As in, when it goes up, people are afraid. People have swapped their cryptocurrency into stablecoins, and so prices are going down. At the bottom, we see the Bitcoin price. When this is going down, then people are deploying their stablecoins. They are swapping their stablecoins into risk-on assets, like Bitcoin, and so the Bitcoin price is going up. You've got an inverse correlation. If we are about to hit 16% in stablecoin dominance again, that would imply that maybe there's another sell-off in Bitcoin until we really bottom out. We might now be at a similar situation to May of 2022, so exactly 4 years ago. It looks like we have already sold off a lot. It looks like we might have already found the bottom. But really, the final capitulation is yet to come. In May of 2022 until the actual bottom in November of the same year, that brought Bitcoin down by another 50% almost. And that's when the stablecoin dominance hit the 16%. There are more stablecoin related data points that hint towards this bear market not yet having finished actually, because we do need more and more inflows into the market. We need to see more deposits into the crypto space for prices to long-term appreciate. We see those inflows into the market and the outflows out of the market with the stablecoin market cap. So how many dollars are currently in stable coins? When this is going down, people are redeeming from crypto. When this is going up, people are depositing into crypto. Now this is just the US dollar amount. I think it's better to put this into a ratio versus the US money supply, because now we are excluding the general money printer. And since October of last year, we have not really seen any net inflows into the market. And that's the fundamental issue. Since that October point, we have seen Bitcoin go down. Before that, Bitcoin was appreciating. Since October and no more inflows, Bitcoin lost 37%. And so for this bear market to be truly over, I think we need to see quick inflows again at the same pace that's typical for a bull market in crypto. And so how am I now taking advantage of those mean reversions? We started the video with Bitcoin and Ethereum trending in the same direction at the same time. Fundamentally, I think it's best to bet on falling altcoin prices because they tend to go down very long term. Have a look at the token dilution, as in how many new altcoin tokens hit the market every single week. It's at hundreds of millions every week. And Michael Saylor, that's buying Bitcoin, he's buying at maybe 50 million US dollars per week. So the altcoin inflation is more than 10 times the rate at which Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin. And that's what I believe is the main driver of the altcoins doing worse than the rest of the market long term. And that's how I generated my long-term outperformance. It's no magic here. I'm simply just taking the general market structure, and I make money when insiders and early investors and the team, they are cashing out. They are selling their vested new tokens while the demand doesn't grow as quickly as the supply for those altcoins. It's really the long-term spread that matters, making money independent of the general macro. This website, by the way, it's also linked down below in the video description. It's the copy trading page. If you join the premium membership of this channel, you can also participate here. We've just hit a new all-time high. We are on pace to hit our 40% per annum again. We're already up 500,000 since beginning of the year. I'm also sharing my trades in real time. If you want to individually copy trade, there's also plenty of tutorials available if you want to up your crypto game as well. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time here on YouTube, or potentially see you in premium as well. Thanks for watching. Cheers.